right, as you know, we've been having some issues with our trees in the grove. And we've given them different nutrients. We've added fertilizer. We've added different things that we found that they might need on when we did research, and that didn't work. So then we changed the watering schedule, and we added water, and then we maybe thought maybe we were giving too much water, and we changed that, and that didn't work. So now we're going to try another way to problem solve. And this time we're going to look at the composition of the dirt. So what you have in front of you is an article that's all about what dirt is composed of. And what I want you to do is, I want you to use your note-taking skills, and I want you to read this article, and as you're reading it, I want you to underline anything that you think is super important or highlight it so that we can add it to our science notebook and use that information to help problem solve what's going on with our trees. All right, so let's do this, and then you'll take out your science notebook to put the information in. All right? Okay, get started. All right, so now we're going to take notes over what you've read. What kind of notes do you think that we should use for this this entry? Alexia?
3 column notes.
We should take 3 column notes. And if we take 3 column notes, what are the 3 columns that we're going to have? Amelia?
3 types of soil.
Okay, 3 types of soil will be the first column. Then what will we have?
We'll have the different types of soil.
Okay, that's what Amelia said. And then we need to have
What the soils are made out of.
what the soils are made of, the characteristics of it, and the last one is,
We need the pictures.
and we'll draw a picture. All right, so in our notes, let's make 3 lines. Does it matter if they're straight or not?
No.
No, we'll just try our best. The middle line will probably be the largest because that's where we're going to put our notes. So we'll say soil, characteristics, and then we'll say picture. When you're done with that, put down your pencil so that I know that we can move on. What's the first kind of soil that the article talked about?
Sandy.
Sandy. So we'll write sandy. And what was one of the characteristics of sandy? What was something that we read about? Dylan?
Water can move through it quickly.
All right, water moves through it quickly. And remember, since these are notes, do they have to have complete sentences?
No.
No, just phrases so we can remember. So the water moves, I forgot the S, through quickly. And why does the water move quickly through sandy soil? Why does it move through quickly? Ooh, Orlando, I like how you're looking back at your notes to look. Did you find that vocabulary word that they gave? Do you see it, Orlando? Yep, I don't, go ahead.
Made up of large pores
large, coarse particles.
And has large spaces between each particle.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay, large, coarse.
That's
Particles.
actually an answer in one of the questions.
Ah,
It says right here, why does water move through sand easily?
and that's what you wrote?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said large, coarse particles, and what was the last thing you said? I didn't.
And it has large spaces between each particle.
Okay, has large spaces.
And they're both actually this kind of the same answer on the two questions, kind of.
That's okay. Now that you have the description, I want you to try to draw a picture of what you think sandy soil would look like. What would sandy soil look like? Just say that you have it in a little bowl. What would it look like if you're looking down at it from a bowl?
It looks like. Let's fill the bucket. One more.
So why do you think we're losing all the leaves?
Because it's fall.
I think it's
But-
because the caterpillars and fall.
You think it's because of the caterpillars?
There were so many caterpillars
Yeah.
last time we had to kill them with
Well,
sticks.
did we kill them or did we just take them off?
We
took
took
them
them
off.
off,
You
but
took them
we
off,
also
yeah.
kind of killed
But did
them.
you notice we do
Because
have some
throwing them in the
flowers though?
Yeah, I
So-
noticed there's a flower right here.
I think what you guys need to do is I think you need to look up whether or not we should keep the flowers on here, because right now the flowers are going to be taking all the water. So we need to find out if we should keep the flowers on or if we should take them off, since we're having so much problems with our leaves. And yes, I think something ate them. Did you see how the stems are just gone?
That's why I said caterpillars. Try looking at these and try looking closely at
She said look it up first.
Oh, so they're ripe. We can tell by if you tug on them a little bit, they'll just pop off. And is it popping off?
No.
But do you notice I'm not really pulling hard either, am I? No, because if I pull hard, then it's going to come off, right? So these are not ready. But you know what? Grapefruit usually is not until the end of January, so let's give them a few minutes.
How are you using
Okay, so we've taken the dirt that we got off from underneath our trees, and we've put them in the jars with the water. We shook them up and we let them settle, right? What we're going to look at is we're going to look for layers. What would be the bottom layer of our jar? What would be on the bottom, do you think? Sophia?
sand?
Sand. And why is it sand? Do you remember? Well, if I was in water and you were in water, I would probably sink, right? Why would I sink and not you?
Heavier.
I'm heavier, right? So sand is heavier. That's why it's going to go down, and it's bigger particles. All right? After sand, what's the next layer? Asher?
I think it is clay.
Oh, clay is the very, very, very smallest. So where do you think that would be? If it's really small, would it be in the middle or the top?
I would say top.
Yep, okay, so we'll put clay on top. And then what will go in the middle? Why?
So
Silt. And if we add all of those together, what are we going to have? Patrick? Loam. Now, I know it's been a while since we talked about this, but let's try to put our really good memory skills on. To have perfect loam, to have the absolute best soil you can have, do you remember what percentage should be sand? Do you remember? What do you think it was?
20 and 40.
It was 40. All right, and then how much was silt?
40.
It was 40. And then how much was clay?
40. 12.
Oh, I was going to say, how could it be 40? We'd have more. 20. Okay, and if you add that all together, do we get 100?
Yes.
Good, I'm glad. I was worried about my math skills. Okay, what we're going to do now is, I want you to look super carefully at the layers in your jar. Think the different layers are. I have a question though. Could we be missing a layer? Is what our soil is, which is basically sand or silt and clay. So what I want you to do is I want you to look really carefully at your jar and look to see where those layers could be. Now, could we be missing a layer? Yes, because of the soil we have in the desert. So really look carefully at where you think they're separated and mark it.
Right there? Right here? No, it's like right there. Yeah, right there. Oh yeah, it just looks different from mine. Then the sand is like
Sand is all this, I think. And
no,
then the clay is the top.
Now that you found your layers, I want you to take that jar that I gave you and do approximately where you think your layers are. So like this would be my top,
I think
right? And then this is the water.
I think the sand's like right here.
And then, look, do you have 2 layers? Do you have 3 layers? How many layers do you have? Because I think some of you
Yeah,
are
probably
missing
about
one,
there.
aren't you?
But then it arches
Or
up.
if you
I know
have
that's what I'm going to be
one,
like.
it's like way down here. What I would like you to do now is take your ruler to the centimeter side. And I want you to go and measure from the bottom, so like it's sitting on the table, to your first line. And how far is that in centimeters? And mark it on your jar. Then go to the second line, and then the very top line. And mark all of those on your jar so we know. So I just put some numbers up here just to show you what's going on, all right? So you measured your layers, and now we need to turn these into fractions. So we're gonna start the math right now. Stella, are you good?
Yeah.
All right. So we know that from the floor to here was 3 centimeters, all right? And then from 3 to 7 would be 4. And then from 7 to 10 is
3.
now, what I need you to do is, well, how tall was the top layer?
10 centimeters.
That needs to be my denominator in all of my fractions, 10. And this would be 4 tenths. And this would be 3 tenths. Which, isn't that kind of, this is easy for me, because we know that 3 tenths is equivalent to 30%. 4 tenths is 40%. And 3 tenths is 30. I don't know what I was doing there. 30%. What you're going to do is you're going to go back to your jars, and I want you to set up the fraction for each of these so that we can turn it into a percentage. Because then we'll know how close we are to the perfect loam, but we'll also know what's missing from your jars, or from your soil out by the trees. All right? Okay, head on back. All right, so Dylan, this is the information I have about your tree. And what is your tree?
Peach tree.
Peach. Okay, so what do you think was on the bottom?
Sand.
That was all sand?
Most of it.
Sand? Okay, so you had sand. And what was your percentage?
78.
Okay. And then what was you think the next one was silt?
Yeah.
Silt. And that was 22%. All right, let's look. What are we missing?
Clay.
We're missing clay. Look at our silt. Is it at that 40%?
No.
No, but look how much sand we have. That's a lot of sand. So is the peach tree able to absorb water? Is the water going to stay there, or is it gonna just run off? It's gonna run off. What do you think we need to add to this?
More silt and clay.
We definitely need to figure out how to add.
sand.
Yep. But do you think if we add more silt and clay, that would lower the sand?
No.
Would the ratios change? If I add more silt, is that gonna make the ratio for sand less?
Yes.
Yeah. So if I add more silt and clay, it's going to change this altogether along with the sand. Now, did somebody not have sand? How much sand did you have?
I had like a centimeter.
Okay, so how much did you have overall?
With everything,
Yep.
I had, I think 40%.
So we're gonna say you had 1/6 sand. Oh my goodness, guys, you're gonna make me think here today, aren't you?
Yeah.
We only had 1 centimeter for our sand too.
All right, so there's nothing, and this would be 1,
Same with me.
6, that would be 40, that would be 6, 6, 6. So you have 16% sand.
Oh no.
All right, then what was your next layer?
My next layer was salt.
And how much did you have?
4.
4. So we'll do 4. 6 times 6 is 36. Oh, and look at that. It's going to be a 4, and it's going to keep going. So you had about 66%, right? Silt. Now, the rest is going to be clay. That's like 82, so 18%. So was your clay about right?
No.
Was clay close? Clay was really close, but here's our problem. Is the water able to drain from your tree? No. So you would never guess this, but this summer we had a lot of rain, didn't we? Which we would think would be good, but because she had so much silt and so little sand, her tree was drowning. Who would think in a desert you could drown a tree, right? But if we don't have enough sand, it's gonna drown. So my question is, how would we fix this soil? Okay, but we can't take the sand away. We'd have to add the sand, or we could add something that makes it so it aerates more. No, we want less clay, right? Because it's hard and compact. We want something that's big and coarse. What I want you guys to do is you're going to look at your percentages. Then you're going to tell me what you think you're going to have to add, what you're going to have to, and if we couldn't add, like adding sand, is there something else we could use to add? All right? And we will talk about that next week.